Doing it. We are live. Hello. It's been a while. Welcome back.
Oh no, why no one's showing? Is no one here yet? Is that why no one's in the chat?
Probably. We just popped up on there.
Mm.
I gotta click on it.
Oh man, I feel like I should have written an agenda. Yeah, all my stuff just updated. I also
I
have.
know. I had so many updates. I was like, Jesus.
Have you read any Splatterpunk?
Uh-uh. No. Sorry. I'm
Going
catching us up.
around
Getting
more
us
than
all
just
loaded.
book talk, but just but also
Uh-huh. Hello. Do we sound okay? I feel like I felt like a new kid on the block all of a sudden because it's been such a while that I didn't
which
know like
one,
where
Donnie or
anything
Marky
was
Mac?
in my setup. Probably Donnie.
Wait, how do I get the share link to send in the announcements? Where is that?
In Discord? Do you want me to send it?
If you can.
Okay. Let's see. I think I still have it open. I usually close, but I did not. Hold on, everybody. Share. Copy. Paste. Boom. Did you want me to share the old?
Don't worry about it.
You guys know where our YouTube is. If you want
I
to
put
go
a
that
I did
route.
a Instagram story with the link to my link tree with the link tree saying YouTube or Twitch is fine. If anybody's
Either.
available,
Yes,
like
they're all fine. Oh, Jesus. I'm glad I didn't pour anything in that yet. I was just getting there. Did you guys hear it? I was pouring my beverage.
wait a minute, am I in the wrong place? Oh my god, people are actually here. I had it set to the private chat when there's people in the I thought we were alone this
I
whole
was
time.
talking to people. Who did you think I was talking
I
to?
don't know. I thought you were just hopeful.
Yep, that's me, the ever optimist.
Icon, Optimisty, Sydney Prescott,
Guess who I
Pessimisty.
literally
The
20 minutes ago
twins are
passed?
here.
Who did you pass? Who? Who? Who did you pass? Do you want us to
Who did
actually
I
guess?
pass? Who passed
Wait.
what?
Says, guess who I literally passed 20 minutes ago? Past the. Oh! I'm so dumb. I read that all wrong. I
Oh, you
thought
passed your test. Congratulations, Pessimisty.
you passed your test.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I thought
You're
you
like
passed somebody like on the road or something. The street.
he picked up Bob Dylan with his little
I
like
was like, who'd
stick and
you
bandana on the side of the road. They're playing harmonica while they watch.
pass? I thought that was a place, not a test. I was
Hey, I
reading
thought we
that
were
all wrong.
alone. I'm glad we aren't. Thank you, Heads of Lettuce, for being here. We'll touch a tad about the strike. I mean, we're not really good sources for that,
No.
obviously. And we'll talk a little.
Why don't you open with that? Go ahead and open with
All
that
right. Well, I'm gonna
so
open
you
with
can
it.
explain.
I got some splatter punk talk, which also translates into horror community kinds of talk if we want. I have
Mhm.
lists from the festivals, and not all of them have interim agreements, but there are a few interesting films that do. If there are any you have in mind, or if you see, I'm going to share my screen of the lists I have that I didn't have time to organize, unfortunately. Um, just give a shout out in the comments. So, um, we are adhering to the strike. We're trying our best. We're going to try our best to really not talk about
Think we're
films that are
alone.
associated part of struck companies, and that's where we're at now. Cues up the song. I think we're alone. I know, right? There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Hello, Double Feature Podcast. Hello. We are definitely live, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
thank you
it's
for
been a
joining us.
while. We're a tad
Wow.
bit rusty.
We're very rusty. This is an
We
extra,
took a
extra
we took a
relaxed fit.
summer vacation. Um,
Extra, extra relaxed. So
which
our usual non-professionalism is going down a little bit to less, even less. So bear with us. So
you
when
wouldn't
it
know
comes
I
to
took a summer vacation. I'm not very tan, sorry. Yeah, so go ahead, talk about
Buff
the strike. We
Goddess.
are following the strike
So when
that
it
I
comes
joined.
to so there's new news in the past few days. I'm not sure how much people are following or not following.
Mhm.
And again, any information that I'm giving you is like as best I'm referring from SAG-AFTRA. You know, definitely refer to SAG, the website, and information from people that are official representatives. That doesn't just come from listening to us, but anybody on the internet or even certain publications. Definitely go for good information there. Double check the info. It's especially when it comes from
Such a
my mouth. I'm
humble,
trying my
humble,
best,
modest
man.
Emma. You got
I
19 seconds, and then they have an ad break, so you gotta give them some news.
Okay. So video games are officially gonna be part of the strike when it comes to major video game companies, when it comes to the voice actors and writers. And there's a
As
lot
it
of
should.
reactions, as there
3,
was the
2,
original, of
1.
people that are like us that just are folks on the internet talking about movies. So that is they're casting it to a vote. There's nothing official yet, but it seems like it's really gonna fall in that vein. And I'm a Tara Strong fan. I'm all for it. Um, and like most folks, this whole strike thing had me thinking of what person, what actor, none
Ethan
other.
Hawke?
No. Oh my god.
Of course not.
I was thinking earlier, based on that, of like, I'm like, wait a minute, why does no one pick on Justine for liking Tom Hardy? And I realized it's my fault. It's my reaction.
Tom
I've made
Hardy's not in a
myself,
lot of horror, so
I'm you know, I have made myself the Mo Howard of the group. Okay, I've
Hmm.
made just like I'm the one that's like, stop picking on me, you guys.
Shut Ethan Hawke.
Shut up. No, I was gonna say Crispin Hellion Glover. You've taken away
Oh.
my delivery.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
the other
lie.
one.
Just before you messaged me, Justine, like just a few minutes earlier, I might have started to cry. I'm like, it's okay. Things come up, and she might not be come.
Oh, I was so ready for us to kick this off again. I miss this.
I do too. I do too. I'm gonna turn off my air conditioner for a second because the noise is
That's
somehow
okay.
getting in my headphones. Give me one moment.
So it's not Ethan Hawke. She's bringing up the other one, Crispin Glover, which same, right? Different font.
So I still have to climb on top of a few pillows to be in the right position.
And just so
I
you
don't
guys
understand.
know, if you're watching us on Twitch, don't forget you can go ahead and subscribe to get ad-free with your Amazon Prime membership. If you have one of those, you guys can use one of those credits from your Amazon Prime to subscribe to our channel and get ad-free, or you can just subscribe all out, to get ad-free. That's also acceptable. If those ads bug you as much as they bug me. What was I watching yesterday? Pulse.
Is
Struck.
that
But
that
anyways,
Japanese film that has to do with
I
video being haunted?
All American remake, that's just
You're
uh
breaking up
I
on me,
have this like
baby. I don't know.
100 films scratch off little thing I'm doing. Anyways, Pulse was the first one we scratched off, so I watched it and
What's the
not that it's
category? Is it
good.
like films you haven't seen or foreign horror films? What is it?
No, it's just 100 films, like random horror films on a poster that you scratch off. I don't even know what they are until I scratch it off. So I couldn't even tell you what's on there. Even the names are covered up and everything, so you don't know what it is until you scratch the name off. So we've came to an agreement that we'll scratch a name off, and then we'll decide if we're in the headspace to watch that particular film, and then we'll scratch the whole picture off if
See how she's
we
using the
watch
word
it.
we? Someone's in love. Um, someone's in love. Wait, am
So
I pointing the right way? I can't remember. So some people are making some comments. So which we'll get to. What do you think of David Gordon Green directing Exorcist Believer after the Halloween trilogy? Ethan Hawke was on the line or online. I can't. There's like a symbol that doesn't saying. I hope Emma mentions me. I actually am mentioning a film of his in a festival, so I was. Um, not to be confused with the Rondo 100. Just ignore me. You can ignore anybody tonight, baby. It's okay. So what you were saying about your 100 film list and being in love, Justine?
Well, I don't remember. We had picked that movie, so we were watching it, and it was on Freevee on Prime Video. Anyways, I hate ads. They're super annoying. I hate how the ads are always louder than the movie you're watching. And my kid was like in the other room, the next room sleeping. So I have it turned way down as I can still hear it, but I still need
No ad
subtitles.
is
And every ad that came on was just blaringly loud that it would like jolt me every single time. And it was never matching the tone of the movie. It's just really frustrating. So if that's bothering you, that's all I was getting to. I hate ads too. So you could just
no ad to me
subscribe.
has ever been as loud as Time Life Music presents Pure Moods. Remember that ad? There'd be like a horse going across the beach, and it's like Enya and the X Files theme, and
Oh, the like our ASPSCA or whatever commercials
yeah, like like call
with
it
what's
order
her face.
now.
Do you
There's
remember
like
those
two
ones?
CDs.
They were
Which
like,
ones?
"Do you remember me?" Or "In the Arms of an Angel" or whatever.
Oh
"In the
my god, yeah,
arms
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of an angel." Anyways, so yeah, you guys, if you have Prime, you have a free sub with it that you can go ahead and subscribe so you don't have to worry about those commercial breaks. Although these lives that we're doing, we are also on YouTube. So if they really start to bother you and you don't have the subscription in you now, you can also just hop over to our YouTube channel and watch us
Hi, Michael. Hi, and
there.
hi, DC Carter. Hi, everybody. We're doing a relaxment. Remember, go easy on us.
We're back from
We're just,
vacation. It's
we're
spooky season.
slowly dipping our
We've
bodies
come
and
out
back
of our
into the bath,
hibernation.
back into the blood bath. So,
Oh! Did you buy any new Halloween decorations this year?
no,
Oh, I did.
trying to be smart with money. Hate it.
Well, I bought stuff like I made stuff. Like I made
That's cool.
some not Christmas wreaths, obviously, but Halloween wreaths for my door that like say like beware, enter if you dare, and they got like skulls and flowers. They're spooky. And then I got like this big old wooden thing that has like stacked jack-o'-lantern heads on it that you can paint. So I painted that. And then I got I got some little jack-o'-lanterns that you put tea candles in. And I got some little ghosties that you put tea candles in. And then of course, I spent an arm and a leg on Bath and Body Works Halloween collection, which is where I got this crystal skull, not to be confused with the alien one from Indiana Jones. But I did
The
get
alien
that
one.
from
I have not seen that one. I haven't seen the two new.
Hey, that gets a lot of shit, but I still like every Indiana Jones movie. Every single one. Every single one. I've been to Spirit. I have been to Spirit, and you know what? I was very restrained. I only got myself one thing, and it was the little tea light ghosties. My daughter picked out Binks costume dress up accessory set.
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, from Hocus Pocus. So they're like cat ears, a cat tail, and a
That's another
collar that
cat I
says
had a
Binks.
crush on. Issues, man.
Me too. I think everybody did. Um, and then Mark picked out, what did he pick out? Oh,
Michael
a
Fike has said he
gravestone.
got vampire blood hand wash and body wash from Bath and Body.
Oh, vampire blood is my favorite scent from Bath and Body Works. I literally live for it whenever it comes back into season because I will buy everything in it. It smells so good. I get like a whole bunch of the 3-wick candles, the single wick candles. I get the little like car incense things, which I have little spider web car incense holders. And then I got a new bat, a light up bat thing with the little scentsy wall scent thing. That's super cute. And I got a skull with a crown, a wall
Oh,
scent
that's
thing,
cool.
and
You see,
all of
Cotter
them.
got the Nightmare Before Christmas trick or treat movie items. I
Ooh,
my grandmother loves Home Goods. Like that's her like one of her
I
favorite stores,
also
and
love
Bath and
Home
Body Works.
Goods.
No, no, I'm not saying that as like a derogatory thing. She's like an
No,
important
no,
person in my life.
I went there too, and I haven't even gotten to what I got there yet.
And
Which is sad.
every time she brings it up, which is often, and she always like, I know you're not much of a homemaker, Emma. And she's not wrong. My grandmother is a Pisces
You don't
woman. They
have to
will
be for
rip
Home
you to
Goods.
shreds like easily. Um, but no, no, no. I mean, it wasn't just not just Home Goods, but in general, she's not
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not much of a homemaker. I don't take offense to that because that's not something I'm like. It's just not one like I can't sing.
It's
I'm
not
not
something you're
really.
striving to be, right?
No, it's not something I'm striving to be. So I'm not sensitive about it.
Oh dear.
Whose
Missed
voice
the mark
belongs in
on
a
that thing.
museum? Whose voice belongs in a museum?
Harrison Ford.
Oh, okay, so this is funny. Um, I was watching some of the Cannes, which was a few months ago, I believe. When what? Oh my god, I can't remember. Was it spring? The Cannes Film Festival interviews, and
Mhm.
Harrison Ford was there for a movie that everyone knows it. I haven't seen it. I'm not promoting it or anything. But he in like so when he's there, there's an older woman that well, I mean, she's probably about his age. She raises her hand, she asks a question. She's not part of I don't think she's part of the press. I think she was just like part of the general public that was there. And she's like, "Mr. Ford, thank you so much in that movie for taking your shirt off. We all appreciate it." And I just and he didn't mind, like he wasn't upset by it. Like, excuse me, not inappropriate, which would be fair to feel that way if he did. But he thought, he made us I don't remember what he said, but it was something you would expect in a
Yeah.
charming way for Harrison Ford to say.
Harrison Ford's interviews are some of my favorite things to watch. I don't know why, but I get like so many clips from his interviews across all my feeds, like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. He pops up a lot, and his interviews are hilarious. Like he's so funny the way he interacts with his fans and stuff, and he kind of has this like grumpy old man who's just really funny kind of humor to him, where you could tell he's pretending to be a grumpy old man, but like really he's like the biggest softie, and he's super sweet, but he's hilarious. Uh,
Spiritually, I'm probably a grumpier old man than Harrison Ford, so
right,
maybe.
exactly. Yeah, same. Um, but yeah, I also went to Home Goods and I got like towels, kitchen towels, which cool, okay, but they were super cute. Like
Are they
there were
embroidered?
skeleton hands, there were a kitty cat face with like a little witch hat on,
Hi,
and
Spooky Lover, and
bats,
thanks for joining
lots of
us.
bats. You know, I'm a sucker for anything with bats.
That's are
Um,
awesome.
what else did I get at Home Goods? I
Anything
swear
with
I got a
Crispin
bunch of
Glover on it?
stuff.
Because I have some
Oh,
reflection.
yeah, Crispin Glover news. Go ahead.
No, it's not news.
Crisper Glubbin.
Crispin Hellion Glover, which is his real name. He's, George McFly, son of Bruce Glover, who is one of the assassins in Diamonds Are Forever. You know, um, so there's no Crispin Glover
Very
news per se, but with all these things with the SAG after strike, it had me thinking, because of course I know, um,
mhm.
it is a while back. I think it happened in the 90s or it might have been the early 2000s. So,
High
Crispin
school
Glover
design.
after the first Back to the Future movie, he had an argument with both producers. I can't remember one of their names. I'm sorry, I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be tonight. But the other one was Robert Zemeckis, who he's now amended that relationship now. But he had an argument with them about the meaning of the ending and kind of like how the family was more prosperous and money and morals and whatever. And he was very outspoken about it. So there was some like so he was not invited back to the future too. back to the future too. Um and that he wasn't sore about. But they did a fake shemp on him. They fake shemped him and he's still alive. He's still alive and they fake shemped him. So so what they did is they hired a guy that looks a lot like Crispin Glover. And they used old footage from the first one so they can technically put Crispin Glover's name in the credits, didn't pay him for it. And they didn't only just pick somebody that looks like him, they put prosthetics on him to make him look, because Crispin Glover's he's got a very angular, he's a specific
Mhm.
look. And they also did all the fake chef methods where like the guy's either upside down or you only see part of him, it's the body
Mhm.
double thing. Um, and he sued them and he
As he
won,
should.
and he got about a little bit around $750,000. And also it's not a legal thing, but it's part of the SAG union because of this lawsuit with Crispin Glover of doing away with the fake Shemp things. For those that might not know the whole fake Shemp thing, it was actually a term coined by, of course, one of the biggest Three Stooges fans that we know within the industry,
Mhm.
who's always trying to make a Three Stooges movie, but hiding it, is Sam Raimi, and he also employed that tactic a lot. But it originally comes from Shemp um, Howard, who was one of the Stooges, and they had promised the studio, the Stooges, that they were going to make 5 to 6 movies, and they had 2 to 3 movies to go when Shemp died. So instead,
Mhm.
so they use old footage and cut it together and use a body double, so it became this thing that happened within films. Another example is when Ed Wood was making a movie and Bela Lugosi died, he used not an actor but a dentist that looked, which just makes it funnier, nothing like Bela Lugosi as the body double. I guess Bruce Campbell too. Bruce Campbell as well. Um and
Mhm. Well, and
so
this
yeah,
brings up AI, right, as well, the
yeah,
use of
protecting,
AI
because
in
it's
agreement.
more than just the actor's image, but also the actor, if the actor, because Crispin Glover is an actor that is a character actor, so he plays certain types of characters. So, like that nervous energy. And
Mhm.
most of us within the horror community will think of him as being the king of all dances in any movie ever with Friday the 13th, the final chapter, but with a close second with Ed Harris and Creepshow. Very close second, gotta say. But, so it just had me thinking about that. I looked to see
Or
if
King of
Crispin
the
Glover,
Rats, you know,
Willard, the
Willard,
remake
yeah.
of Willard. I looked to see if Crispin
Or
Glover had something to reflect
creepy
on,
dude
but
who
I couldn't find
smells
it.
hair in Charlie's Angels.
Which is kind of a weird touch in the sense that, like, he was supposed to have a speaking part, but he's like, "I'm not delivering expositional dialogue with that." So, he made the part silent, and it just worked because he doesn't
It
talk at all in the
does, it
movie. He
just makes it
just
even
sniffs
creepier.
hair. But you can only see um Crispin Glover's made 3 films, and you can only see them when he personally shows them in person for these little, he hasn't done it in a while. It's called the It trilogy, and they're very controversial, and I've read what they're about, and I can see why, but I have to see them. I can't say, but anyway,
Crispin! We wanna
Crispin!
see him!
Um But, so, he hasn't made any statements on, any of it. I don't know, he might be in Prague or something like that. I know he lives somewhere near there sometimes.
Ooh, I've always wanted to go to Prague.
Me
Crispin,
too.
hit us up. We wanna watch your movies.
You've seen the one
We're
with the
big
fake
fans.
mask. Is that one of his films that he showed in person on the, reel?
Yeah,
So,
what
the
are they
films, what are
about?
they about? So one I forget, and then the first one wasn't shot by Crispin himself, but a friend of his who suffered from Um, he was in an electric wheelchair. I can't remember what condition he had, and he shot this film. There's some real sex scenes in it, and also he's a serial killer. And part of the thing with the serial killer is he smells hair, and so like I'm like, and then like Crispin did it in the other movie, which is a bad thing. I'm like, was he
Crispin.
inspired by that, or is that like a thing they both liked, which is fine. As long as you don't impose it, as long as everyone is consensual, it's fine. If you like to sniff hair, but like that
Okay,
close.
this brings me back to Tarantino. I mean,
Oh, the feet
there's
thing.
I have to draw a line with people. It's okay to have those fetishes. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem with you having those fetishes, but don't use your craft or your power or your position to get that fetish worked into your work with people who may not know that they're a part of your fetish. I think that's really inappropriate. Like Tarantino with his foot fetish, and then having all these actresses in every movie have a focus on his feet. Like Selma Hayek stuck her whole foot in his mouth. Like
It is
that's
kind of
that's
a hot
that's
scene, not because of the foot, but she's
crossing the
pouring the
line for me,
booze down
though.
her leg.
It's
That's
a
a little.
hot scene until you realize he has a foot fetish and he's the director. Well, not
Has she
director,
said
the
something about it?
writer, but, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And you guys, and some might be more familiar with us than others. We're the types that, like, we when we make statements
Heyo.
about folks that are personal, um or personal opinions about, like, the Tarantino thing or Crispin Glover or anybody. We're not saying don't watch these people. These people are
Oh,
horrible
no.
people. I mean, people in general are multifaceted. You can be a
Yeah.
person that does really great things and also do some shitty things. Like, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're
I think he's just
condemning
a bit of a
somebody, you're
creepy
gonna know
dude.
it. You're gonna know it.
Yeah.
There's you're
I think that just gives me ick about him. Like, I don't know. I can't handle watching him talk or anything. I love his movies. I
I
do.
like watching him talk. He
But
talks
every
great.
time I see a foot scene, I think of that and I'm like, "Oh," it just gives me, like, the ick because
Well, this makes me think of so recently, I don't know if it's over yet. Two film festivals were shown, and one of them was Venice. And one thing that happened at Venice is
yeah.
there are two films that I don't know where they are in the interim agreement, but it's not really about the films themselves in this conversation at the moment. Is two films. One of them, Roman Polanski's new film, is in the running to win. He did not show up for this, but the other film, directed by Woody Allen was there, and there are a lot of protests saying that Woody Allen isn't an unhealthy rapist; he's an unhealthy example of the patriarchy. So they're protesting for women's
Mhm.
rights and feminism, and Woody Allen's looking rough, man. Like he's got like so that's good. Again, it's kind of it's not a black or white situation. I'm not going to stand up for Woody Allen, that's for sure. But yeah, no, I'm glad that these are conversations we have, and I'm
Mhm.
it's a good thing. Um,
I can't speak for Tarantino's or older movies, but I'm pretty sure that everyone knows about his fetish before accepting a role in his movies. Sure, but they don't necessarily know that he's gonna insert that fetish in with his character in a movie.
the only one I remember making a comment on it, and her not saying she doesn't want to associate with him anymore, but she was a little uncomfortable about it, was because the scenes with her, it's a little less obvious. Like she's not behind the camera. Is Rosaria Dawson,
Yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah, and
we see I could draw her feet from memory because of that
how
movie.
often you see him.
But
Yeah.
so
It's not about whether they accept a role or not, it's an ick move, and I hold that ickiness to him because he's responsible, not them, for accepting the role. Um, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will accept roles from directors because they're career moves, and that's unfortunate that they're put in a position to have to say no to certain things in those situations because a director is being creepy. They shouldn't have
yeah, I
to
mean
be in
it's one
that
of those things that
position.
if you accept a role from Tarantino, he's got a foot fetish, right? But if he comes to you as like, hey, I want to do this scene with your feet, whatever it is, maybe more, however he wants to phrase it, and the actor shouldn't be pressured into having a feeling if they say yes, so they can just say, you know what, I'm fine with it. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
if it's just, "Oh, I just wanna put your feet in the forefront of this scene," okay, maybe they're comfortable with that, but if it's, "Hey, I want you to stick your foot in my mouth and pour alcohol down it," did Salma Hayek know that he had a foot fetish then, or was it her first, like, big role? Like
I don't think that was her first
like,
big role.
yeah, I think that was
Oh,
her
it might have
breakout
been. I
role.
don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was her breakout role. I think she had, like, very minor things, if anything, before that. I'd have to Google it, but to confirm it, maybe somebody can confirm it in the comments for us. Close to her first, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was, like, the role that put her on the map kinda thing. But regardless, you shouldn't put people in a position to have to feel that way as a director. that is your power to hold carefully. But you're right. If someone came out and spoke up against it, I would have stronger feelings about it. Like if anybody came out like Rosario Dawson said, I felt really pressured, like I couldn't say no or I wouldn't be in the movie, then I would definitely have a problem with it. But I still think it's an icky thing to do. That's what I mean by icky, not I'm not going to say he's a horrible person. I just think it's an icky move. It's a creepy move. It's a creepy dude mood. That's all.
Has anyone read this book or read
No.
any Splatterpunk? Have you
I've
heard
read
about this book?
Splatterpunk. I think it was called Sick Bastards or something.
That sounds about
It was
right.
a
Was it a
while
Max
ago.
Shaw book?
I might have been. I'd have to look at my Kindle.
So,
It might have
our
been.
friend Sid was one of the folks that like had read this. Who's Horror Chronicles on TikTok. She's awesome.
Mm.
She's in our book adaptation, no, Stephen King book adaptations to film episode that we did. And I'm like, okay, and some people are saying this is the most disturbing book they've ever read. And you guys know me. I can't stay away. Um, uh so so splatterpunk really was coined in Providence, Rhode Island, of course, because Lovecraft's there, being like little creepy anti-Semitic dude there. But it's really refers to certain types of fiction. You haven't read it, but it's on my Kindle. So it's one of those books that kind of went viral beyond book talk. Like it went on to regular, horror talk as well. And everyone's talking, I think it's page 40 to 50, or 30 to 40. Um, yeah, I think, but, and I'm like, okay, let's see. So, I can tell you on, disturbing is subjective,
Yeah.
and it's very much on a personal level. I have never read a splatterpunk book before, but splatterpunk is one of those things that it's a dead dove situation. Like, what do I
Mm.
expect? Like, it's gonna be really graphic. It's gonna be really disturbing. Like, I can't
Mhm.
read it and be upset about it. But I really didn't know because no one really led on to what the disturbing thing was. The disturbing
I
thing
heard
isn't
kids were
violence.
involved.
It is not involving children.
Okay.
The children are, it's basically a big state of the art playground that underprivileged children are invited to go to, and the women that runs it, she was never
Mhm.
able to have kids, and her mom had 9 kids. And so, I mean, so my biggest overall thing with this book, I mean, it was fine,
Mhm.
but it's not a young adult book, but it reads like one. But anyway, so the disturbing part is not violent and it doesn't have to do with children, thank God. It has to do with, of course, children in dangerous situations, which is in this book, is disturbing within itself, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be in that sense. It is a sexual thing, and it is, I'm not going to tell you what. I don't, I did gag reading it. But I'm just
Oh.
going to say it's very descriptive, and there's a lot about it that makes it gross to me. I'm not shaming anybody, but I'm just going to say one of the things that it involves is vomit. So, like automatically I'm not down with that, and I got to a point where I had to just skim it like this is not important to anything. And then so
I
based, but after those few pages, which to me, it's not disturbing because no one's being sexually assaulted or anything like that. Mostly complicated, but it's more so just about gross things happening in that sense. And but after that, it's pretty much like a regular horror book. It's not like because if it was, I'm like, if this is gonna go on throughout the book, I can't finish it, and I hate not finishing a book. But I can't. Ugh. So that's that about it. I'm not done. I haven't given up on Splatterpunk. I don't know if I'll read anything by this author. I hear he's a nice guy. He has good intentions, and he's very involved with his readers. Um,
used
young
to be
adult
an
splattercore Judy Blumhouse. Um,
Casey
so
Andrews. I used to be an avid reader, but as I've gotten older, I find it hard to concentrate while I read. I have that same issue because of ADHD. And what I've found that helps me with reading is I listen to the audio version while I'm reading the book, and that allows my ADD to just be free. So if I get distracted, I'm still hearing it. It keeps me like engaged, but also I could just get up and do other stuff while listening to it and come back to it in the book myself just fine. So it helps me. I don't know if that'll help you, but that helps me read. Plus, I have a kid, so she tends to pull me away from my book often, and sometimes having it in my ear helps me be able to let her play without distracting me from the book. Um, that helps. So maybe try that.
A double feature podcast says I would need to know how disturbing the specific scene is for me, and it would have to be relevant to the story. I've only read one this is the only splatterpunk book I have read, so I can't say how typical it is of the genre. I mean, a lot of it is the point of it is just to be disturbing or very violent for disturbing sake. I've heard this book is definitely an example of that, and that particular scene doesn't add anything for me. I mean, is it
Mm,
I mean, I'm not upset by it. I mean, what did I expect? But it's fine. So my take on it is it reads like a young adult book. There you get different perspectives from different characters, but they each voice is very uniform. Like they could say, "Oh, it's Rock thinking," or it's
Hi,
Geraldine,"
Bacon
but it
Pretty.
all reads the same. All the characters are a little bit too uniform for me. It's not a terrible
Mm,
book, but it's not good. So I there are a
fair.
lot of female so I'm not haven't given up on the genre itself, but there are a lot of highly recommended female splatterpunk authors, and I'll probably be choosing a book from a recommendation from one of their works would probably be my next read.
Recently read what is that book called? Man, oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared to talk about it. Sorry.
Oh, bacon praline.
Something
Are we going to
about
discuss what pralines are again? Sorry.
aren't they pecans with sugar coating or something?
They're nuts with sugar
Caramelized
coat off
pecans.
often pecans. Paul
Mhm.
Ravenspaul, thank you for joining us. But what did you read, honey?
I was trying to remember what it was called. It's got like a something the Riverman or something. It was pretty popular, I think I found it on TikTok. But none of my books are on here anymore because I just cleaned it out. So I can't tell you now. And I wasn't prepared to talk about it, sorry.
No, it's
But
not.
it
This
was
is a
like
relaxed fit.
something about like off to see the Riverman or something. You guys might know it. It's not splatterpunk. I don't think. But it's about like this girl who's a pen pal with a serial killer, but she's kind of like fallen in love with him. And then he tells her to go like into the woods and she takes her sister who's got I don't remember if she hit her head at some point or something, but her sister's slow. And so she takes her with into the woods to go meet the riverman or the whatever.
It
Anyways, it
sounds
was
similar
pretty
to
freaky.
like a mix between Slender Man and maybe the Empty Man. Did you see that?
Yeah, it seemed like the serial killer was, like, part of doing the bidding of I don't know, I have to finish it, but it was pretty good, and then I got distracted by another book that my friend wanted me to read, so I have to go finish it, but it was interesting. It gave me, like, Stephen King vibes, but light, like Stephen King light. That's
Oh
what it
my
was.
god. Optimisty has the best news I've ever heard. No, so Optimisty said, I just learned via the AV Club that Stephen King played Mambo number 5 so much that his wife threatened to leave it. A little bit of
Was it while he was
Mambo.
was it while he was writing 1408? Because that would be, like, perfect.
Mambo number 5. That was like for some reason in the early 2000s there was a big pseudo pop swing movement
Oh,
with Still
yeah,
Not
like the
Zippers 2, which
scat
is a better book.
movement or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Mhm. I think if I heard Mambo number 5 too much in the house, I think I'd have to might have the same complaint. Although I can't my poster's crooked. I'll fix that later. I'll probably
Like, yeah, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. That's who exactly I was thinking of when
I have a
when
music sin to confess to.
uh-oh.
It's not that bad. Um So,
Calm down,
so do you
Justine.
know the band Seether?
Yeah.
Like Seether's classic, what we call now divorced dad rock. Like it's rock that he's
What's it
divorced. He
like?
pays child support, but not alimony, and he's bought his sixth ATV because the last one he bought on discounting was
Tribal
always
tat new metal.
oh. And so the last ATV he bought, he was gonna fix up and bought it real cheap because it needed to be fixed up, but then he never fixed it up, so he just bought a new one. That like
Yeah.
he's one of the only he's like a big fan of Seether, this fictional person. It is a fictional person. Um,
Yeah.
but so I heard I don't know if my something was on shuffle or it was on satellite radio, and Seether came on doing a cover of Careless Whisper, and the snob in me immediately like I don't dislike Seether. They're fine. I don't
Mhm.
think there's nothing bad about them. It's just
I
not
don't
usually
dislike
my
any
go.
of the music. I just think it's funny the crowd that listens to them very unabashedly. Like,
I
we
applaud
all
it.
know what we
People,
know.
yeah, the wrap around sunglasses. Uh, Anyway, and mom's new husband is afraid of him, and doesn't like have to being alone with the divorced dad while he listens to Seether. Um, I immediately snobs at me like, why would Seether do a cover of Careless Whisper? I can't believe it. And then the moment I got home, I was downloading the guitar tabs. So
I guess it wasn't so bad, huh?
I guess it wasn't so bad. Remedy's not a bad song. They're just one of those bands that even for divorced dads, like it's not like anybody. It's not a band that's really anybody's favorite band. They're like a band you like, but they're
It's a band that everybody knows all the words to all of the songs, though. Like, and it plays in every hole in the wall on the touch tunes.
oh
Like
yeah, and if yeah, the towny bars,
any
they're
place
fun.
that has a touch tunes and a pool table, you're gonna hear divorced dad rock or tribal tat new metal.
Michael Fight wants to stand up for the. Hey, I like divorced dads. Are you kidding? It's me. But I am a divorced dad, and I would never listen to Seether. Although I've
Oh,
never dated anybody that has an ATV, but
I've
divorce.
never
Nothing wrong with
dated
divorce.
anybody with a tribal tat, so maybe
I
you
haven't
don't have one of
either.
those,
Not
and
like
that's the key. The key is the tribal tat
yeah, that's a
and
that's a big
the
part of it.
American
They also
Fighter
are really
tees
big fan of Godsmack too.
and
You
American
know,
Fighter t-shirts and
yeah,
bedazzled
broken.
jeans.
That's which is one of the most early 2000s song of ever, where they do a duet with Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Mhm.
Oh my god, brings me back.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to hear about some festival films?
Yes. I would love to.
I don't know if you guys have a choice.
I'm an
Um,
outlaw, baby. Let's go. That's
all
right.
right. So how do I'm gonna? So do I go to settings to share my screen?
It should say share. Present. It says present with a little screen and a plus.
Oh my god, it's so easy. Let me make sure I have it open. Give me a second before I do this. All right.
Can
Yeah.
I
Okay.
not bring any lip gloss down here with me? I am out of
I have
practice.
my Blistex filled with glass.
Glass.
So
Glass.
not everyone here is in our Discord. You can join us. It's free,
Freezies.
community. I did post a link to the SAG-AFTRA list of all the productions, which it doesn't apply to all of them, but now I'll be talking about. But I'm either talking about something that has, and I'll have to double check myself because I'm not as prepared as I'd like to be. But it has a list of everything that is that I am aware of that is an extremely small production. Is either a small production or it's part of the interim agreement for the festivals and promoting or casting. Um, and so there's that. So I put the link to look at what is in an interim agreement in the Discord. So present.
And if you guys want to join our Patreon, I'm going to start doing the voting for the patron members in our slasher chat soon, so we can get some shorts out on YouTube again. That way I can put myself to work again. And you guys can be a part of the voting crowd on what Let Us In Podcast thinks.
Can you see my thing?
New.
All right, give me a second. I think I had to allow myself. Um,
A window pops up, and then you select what you're sharing.
I did. I told it to share my letterbox, but now it's like in the. We had to update everything because I haven't used Streamyard in a while, so I'm a little extra.
Yeah.
Edit name. Um, because I see it in the corner here, but it's not.
Let me make sure it's not something I need. Add to stream. It was something I guess I needed to do.
I used to be able to do it. Okay, okay, here we go.
Santa Sangre.
Okay, so I can see it there. Apparently, I can't. So I can't see the comments right now because I have to go into the different tab here. All right, so
That's
this
okay.
is ignore everything else. I have to go to my lists.
At the top?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was hard. All right, let's start with Fright Fest, which I'm
All right,
less.
best. Oh, don't forget to follow us on Letterboxd. We're both on Letterboxd. All three of us are.
If
Me,
you're in
Emma,
our
and Creeping and
Discord, we
Spooky.
do. Oh no, I didn't mean to click on that. I lost my my Wacom pen, so now I'm using this not good mouse. It's somewhere. It's probably on the floor. Okay, so this is one. We are big fans of the Adams family. Adams
Mhm.
with 1D. They did To Dig a Shallow Grave. They did
Hellbender.
Hellbender, which Joe Bob Briggs had the whole had. They didn't have they didn't have Lola, but they had Zelda, Toby, and John on talking about Hellbender, which is a great movie. And so they're from Upper New York. They all share the same amount of credits for directing and producing, and they all do it all together. They're a small family. They're all awesome. They're all on Instagram, and they're very active with
Mhm.
fans. And it's very impressive to me how much they do on their own, on the
Mhm.
budget that they do, and they're just really cool. They seem like really cool people. And so John's the dad, Toby's the mom, and Sam, I don't know who that guy is. I'm sorry. But Zelda and Lulu are the daughters, and a lot of the time, the main characters are Zelda and Toby. Besides this little thing here, I don't know much about the movie, but we've talked about their films in our episodes before, and they're very talented. So
Mhm.
I'm sorry for folks that are on my letterbox. Like, if it shows like activity from friends, I apologize. I try to keep things personal, but I think this is kind of okay that you just put a movie on your watch list. It's fine. I'm not going to show anything scandalous. Um,
Scandalous.
Scandalous. Um, Although I do have it set so I can log scandalous things if I want. So, yeah. So I these aren't in particular order. Cobweb I have seen.
Ooh, I watched that.
I'm
I
not
liked that
sure.
one.
I'm not sure about the agreement though.
Did
Give
I
me a
rate
second.
did I not rate it
God,
and log it? I'm so bad about this.
you are really bad about that.
I
I am,
didn't?
but I'm bad about it. I'm the opposite. I'm really sorry.
I love
My
Lizzie
mouse decided.
Kaplan.
She is cool. So details. Give me a second before we talk too much about
I
it.
swear I rated this movie. Come on. Didn't I, guys? Did you see it? Come on.
Vertigo
I
Entertainment. I'm pretty oh,
remember.
Lionsgate. This is not. We can't talk about him. Sorry.
I could have
Um,
sworn I didn't watch any movie that we could talk about. So when I saw
I
that one, I was
did.
like,
I did watch Talk to Me. Let me change here so I can see myself.
I'm
Did
excited to
anybody
watch
in our
Talk to Me. I
chat see?
haven't
So,
watched it yet.
two companies that have agreed to the terms of SAG-AFTRA are A24 and Neon, and they produce a lot of horror films, both of them,
1 second,
and
Mayor, and
non-horror
I'll get you
films.
that link. Sorry, go
And
ahead.
yeah, pretty much just for the Walking Dead shows. So the new Walking Dead show, which is more so, it's like a spin-off about Daryl Dixon, that it does have an interim agreement. I don't know anything about it. There is a movie that I was really excited to talk to Justine about. It has Ed Hardy as one of the main characters, and it looks really cool, Rumblefish kind of stuff, but it does not.
Ed Hardy or Tom
Tom
Hardy?
Hardy, I mean, I'm so sorry.
Ed
Same
Hardy,
thing.
I think
Uh,
it would be kinda crazy if he got into a movie. Isn't he the one that did the, like,
those
tattoo
little
designs?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like in the early 2000s today. So,
So much
so much
bedazzle.
bedazzle. Oh Oh my! I remember when people had bedazzle machines, like those little things that would put the bedazzlers. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, no, Tom Hardy is the one I meant, but it unfortunately doesn't have an interim agreement, but it is going through. It also has that guy that played Elvis. What's his name? Recently, Butler.
Oh, Austin Butler.
Yes, that
I was
one.
gonna say there's
But
a couple of them that played Elvis recently.
yeah, biopics are big right
Mad
now, and
Max Fury Road with Tom Hardy. But he is
so
great. That's a great
one thing
movie.
is, like, I was thinking, oh, I hated a really popular movie recently, and I'm like, can I talk about it if I hated it?
Can we?
It's, but I guess no
No,
press is
because
bad
any
press.
media is yeah, I was gonna say any press is press.
Oh, it was a popular biopic, and it did everything I hate about biopics. And there's such a big opportunity to talk about. You know how young folks today, oh my god,
Mhm.
I sound like a bag of talking cobwebs. But there's the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, like they don't know the world before social media and the internet. I remember when VHS was the only thing to watch. But I don't know a time before home video. So when it
Yeah.
comes to human beings' ability to obliterate ourselves, pretty much most people alive don't remember a time
I
before
think
us
we
thinking
know
about it.
which movie she's talking about.
I really
Cat's out of the
didn't like
bag.
it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I have no interest in that movie.
Don't. I usually never say people that, well, it's only because of the strike. I think people should
Mm,
watch whatever movies they want despite anybody else's opinion. But I really went in with a good attitude. Turned
yeah,
a
no
certain
interest,
famous scientist
none,
into Mr.
and it's
Magoo.
totally gonna win so many awards too.
Oh, that makes me madder. I mean, a lot of so when it comes to people that, I'm glad that there's a lot of people that like certain films and things that I don't like, someone people's
Pandemonium.
it resonated with people in a certain way that it doesn't resonate with me, and I'm interested to see and learn about what people saw in it in a way like of learning and expanding and growing. I'm still not going to like it, but just I like hearing other people's opinions. But man, so
So let's
you
look
know
at these
what? You know what?
movies
Just
real
let me
quick,
just get
Emma.
this off my back. I I'm like this is I'm almost like unhealthily like mad about it. Not really, but it's just like a lot of us too busy to read as much as we'd like. We don't have to make that the rest of the world's problem by making a long, boring, shitty movie. Sorry, Chris. Anyway, let's positive things.
So looking oh, I was about to say, can you click on that one? Because that is a really cool cover. I really like that
And
poster.
hey, Heather Graham.
Barbara
Barbara Crampton,
Crampton.
our girl, and
No offense, but when I see Heather Graham in a movie, I don't have high hopes.
really, well, she's one of those actors that is not necessarily in all. Some movies she's in aren't winners, but I like her.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um, so I don't know much about it. It seems to be
I love the
fairly.
cover.
I love the cover too. Because I'm the least prepared for Fright Fest.
After
Fright Fest.
murdering her young patient, a once esteemed psychiatrist helplessly watches her life spiral into a nightmarish maelstrom of supernatural hysteria and gruesome deaths, all linked to a seemingly unstoppable ancient curse. Awesome.
Cool.
I'm down. Well, let's go back though. The one next to
Back
it,
to
the
this
dive.
one.
No, no. Yeah, the dive. I love disaster movies, especially underwater,
Let me just check for a
claustrophobic.
second. Um,
Oh,
I'm
it's
not
MGM.
positive. Oh, it's Germany, which Letterbox isn't always correct on that. But it's in English. So it's probably fairly an international production. We don't know for sure, but we can talk about it a little. Um,
Yeah, go back. It's okay. I just that's all I wanted to say. What other
you love
covers
that
do you like
genre of
doing,
movie?
guys? I
I
do. I love
They're
it.
especially fun in the summer.
Sanctum is
Um,
a really good one if you haven't seen it. I really liked that one.
I've seen that. Oh, this one I'm not sure. Let me check it for a second.
That's also a cool cover. I like how
Not
the, like,
sure.
film tape is, like, coming out of her mouth and burning around her.
I
It's
like that
giving,
Monique
like, a
Tarrant
culty
is in it.
vibe.
I'm a big fan of
Who?
that. She looks fantastic. She's so cool. I hope I look that way when I'm in my 50s. Um, so I'm sorry
I
I'm not
like
as
the
prepared
one
as I
that's
want to be.
next to the where the devil roams.
This one?
What does that say? No,
Oh,
New
I don't
Life?
know. New Life. Let me
Yeah,
check it.
that's a really cool cover too. That's giving,
Oh,
like,
wow, not a lot of
Cronenberg
info.
vibes.
So we don't know a lot of info on this one particularly, but I do like the cover. Let's see. It seems to be middle range in reception. Not that I think of reception as like the number one thing.
Apocalyptic proportions. My goodness.
Maybe they'll
Hmm.
touch on more important, deep things that reflect on society of before and today instead of like men measuring their dicks like other movies.
I also like the next one where it says, is that
This one?
After Dark? Yeah. Oh, Faceless After Dark. That's a cool cover. That's giving me major 80s throwback vibes. I love
Or
it.
90s erotic thriller? I love
Yeah.
it. The
I
colors are
love the
very 80s
colors.
though.
Yeah.
I don't
Killer
know.
clown flick. Bowie finds herself held hostage by an unhinged fan determined to recreate the film's fatal plot.
Oh, deranged
Meh.
fans scare me. I get really
That is
nervous.
such a generic plot.
Yeah,
Really
but
great cover,
it
generic
still could
plot.
be a really fun movie.
It could be. It could be
Oh, did
great.
it say the
Could
calls
be.
are coming from inside the house? Yeah.
I hope it's hilarious.
It might, but let's see. What
I
genre
hope
is this
so.
under? It doesn't say comedy, but I don't know. With the tagline, the
It
calls are
could
coming
be
from inside
dark
the house,
comedy. I
and the
don't
fact
even
that it's
know.
clowns.
Is
Probably.
Wolf of Snow Hollow considered a comedy? Because that
Yes,
one has, like, comedy vibes to me.
definitely.
Pandemonium, that's a great cover too. And the name? Interesting, interesting. Look at that. What is going on? Is that a door? A gate? Wake of the
Red
okay.
Door,
Nathan and
Destruction,
Daniel wake at the
and
scene
it's
of a
French.
car
Okay, we can
crash.
talk about this one.
Confused and seemingly unscathed, the two men begin to understand that they did not make it after all. Oh, post death. Okay. Nathan's past acts will now determine his fate. However reprehensible they may have been, he will have to leave his earthly world and enter the depths of hell, where is confronted. I don't know if that's the right grammar there. Where he's confronted with other tormented souls and forced to experience their pain too. Jan, a psychotic little girl whose parents are frightened as
Love
she is
psychotic
prone to
little girls.
violence. Julia, is this like a wait a second? Is this like an anthology? Spiraled out of
It
control
sounds
after her
like
daughter's
it because there's a
suicide,
lot of
but
stuff
this
going
is
on.
the beginning. It sounds like almost like a multi-story kind of convergence style,
This says
you know?
below.
That is
Hell
cool.
knows
So
no
bad people going
forgiveness.
into hell, I'm down. Centennial Pandemonium. Back to Samaya. Yeah. Full
Okay,
circle.
the first or third so of writer director as well as painter or photographer for his new film Panama feels like a stage play. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, it looks interesting. Yeah.
I'm into it. Into it. All right. I love the cover. I mean, now that I know it's the
Mysterious.
gates of hell, it's like that's such a cool cover. I don't know about you guys. I immediately don't watch any of these movies that are like hyper fixated on technology, which is why I still haven't
Oh, I
watched
love it.
Dash Cam or whatever the other ones are.
Different channel readers. Each of these channels is actually telling different aspects of the same horrific narrative. That's interesting.
Boom, boom, boom. Sure. Yeah. Everything is connected.
Time is a flat circle.
You know, if they play that out like an anthology, that would be really interesting. My Mother's Eyes.
That looks awesome.
Isn't this
That's for
already a
me.
movie? Is this a
I
remake
I
of the,
thought you.
other one?
I don't know.
Remember the one with the shed? Isn't
Think
that
so.
I'm confused.
It's on my watch list eventually. We can get there. My watch list has thousands of movies on it. It's a lost cause. Of course, they had some retrospectives. I think Lore was another one that came up in one
I
I
like the
saw.
name, I do not like the cover.
No, it's too much going. I
That's
don't like when there's too. It's too
terrible.
busy. It's too busy.
It's just a bunch of people staring at the same spot, but
I
it
just turned
doesn't
into
tell you
Pauly Shore
anything.
for a second. Busy.
Busy with the floating heads.
Scotland, scare friends a ghostly horror themed camping excursion. Well, we don't have enough camping horror. We found that out.
Do yourself a favor and never watch Dash Cam. I wish I hadn't. I won't.
It's a bit annoying.
I'm
Some
not
people
a
liked
I
it.
don't know. I sometimes those movies are hits. Like I liked Searching and Missing. Those movies were good and they had a major like tech-centric theme going on. But then they're like, I don't know, a little gimmicky, a little pandery. Like you're trying too hard to make horror out of something so mundane. And, you know,
It
it
seems
get
like there's
it takes me back to, like, the movie I just watched, Pulse, where, like, technology was brand new and we're gonna make it scary, but it's not brand new anymore, and it's and what's scary about it has been pumped into our brains since we got online. "Watch out for the
Christine, are you
predators."
saying you don't like fear.com?
I like
I
it for
can't see
what
your
it is.
reaction. I'm at a different tab. I just hear silence.
I
Um,
don't dislike it, but those movies are
it's a
definitely
bad movie,
of
but I
their
enjoy it.
time. Yeah, that's exactly. Like, I think Pulse is a terrible movie, but I enjoyed the heck out of watching it last night. I was laughing my ass off.
So it seems like trauma, childhood trauma is a big theme in a lot of these films.
The
Not a good or
more
bad.
I would be very down to watch. That looks really cool. I like this one already. This looks a little folksy. Roll
Hmm.
into a unique clinical trials launched by Geo Group. I think it's Geo Group instead of GEO Group. Why'd they capitalize it all? Anyways, an established cellular meat company who uses what?
Movies against technology.
To create genetic
They
GM
modify
babies.
babies.
Okay, the plan is to overcome the cruelty of nature, but their experiments are the single greatest scientific event in history of mankind, or the beginning of the
Oh,
unimaginable epic
sorry.
nightmare. You know what I think? I think they're gonna eat the babies that don't work.
They're gonna eat the GMO babies, the GEO babies.
It's a meat plant. Like, I mean, it doesn't take a lot of neurons to draw those two conclusions. The Blue Rose. Ooh, that's giving me Neon Demon vibes.
In the 1950s, two rookie detectives set out to solve a homicide only to find themselves in an alternate reality made up the worst alternate reality. Worst night in the 50s? Worst nightmares.
Hmm.
AU's everywhere.
Black
Man, I wish I
Mold.
put these in order.
Good boy. No, I'm not watching that.
No, I can't watch dogs getting hurt. I can't do it.
What is that? Minore.
Uh, Do we where?
The well, octopus looking thing. You know, I like
Oh,
tentacles. That's a
yes,
really
I
cool
know.
picture.
I do know.
New Greek monster movie.
No, there's not enough Greek.
Oh, done. Sold. I need it. Like, let me read it. When a mysterious creatures invade a Greek seaside port, a misfit band of musicians, tourists, bodybuilders, and grannies unite to save the city in a quirky action comedy.
Hmm.
This is right up my alley.
I can't see one. I had it here. There's a movie that's Werewolf Santa Claus. Where is it?
There it is, right there.
Right
Off
here?
to the right.
Ah,
Yep.
yes. I did see there's a trailer out for this one.
Lucy
Um,
has a social media channel where she hunts evidence of actual monsters, but it's not doing great. With just a few viewers following her disappointing post, everything changes on Christmas Eve when her camera witnesses Santa getting bitten by a werewolf before he turns lycanthrope himself. As werewolf Santa starts wreaking bloody havoc on their seaside town, Lucy and her bickering family set off on a madcap adventure armed with a rusty skate. Gotta click more. Click more.
oh.
And a vague understanding of how to kill werewolves gained from her collection of horror comics. The Beast Must Die to Save Christmas.
Oh, that's a reference
Uh,
to the
that is
film
a supernatural
1970.
episode.
That's a reference to a werewolf movie that's really bizarre called The Beast Must Die. Changing my screen for a second. Have you seen it?
No, I will
Okay.
watch this though.
So it
This
has
might
like
become
an
my new favorite
interesting
Christmas movie.
it has a lot of interesting oh hi Culinary Geek Roy. Um it has a lot of interesting things added into like it's like it'll go blank. It's and so this guy is like, I want to hunt the most dangerous game I want to hunt a werewolf. So and he's really rich, and so he hires a bunch of people, and so across the screen we just get text in black, and we hear like the narrator. One of the people in this room is a werewolf. Will you be able to guess in time which one is the werewolf? And then there's later on, like just before they reveal the werewolf,
Oh,
like
that's like Werewolves at Night.
yeah, kind of, and then it's like then it
What
has like a
what is
little weird
haven't you played
clock.
that game?
I haven't played it, but I've seen the movie. The
Oh,
Werewolves
it's a
Within is the
great
one I was thinking
game.
about.
Werewolves Within is great, and it's also based off of a game, but Werewolves at Night or Werewolf by Midnight, I think is what it's called. Something
Oh, the
like that.
mayor mentioned and Peter
It's a
Cushing.
game.
Yeah, it's Peter
It's fun.
Cushing and it has
I'll be right back.
is it Michael Gambon? Anyway, well, let me look up The Beast Must Die. So it kind of like ends similarly to an Agatha Christie, but it's kind of like hunting the most dangerous game, but instead of the most dangerous game being a man, it's though the Beast Must Die. Look at my brain working really well. Here we go. This is it. So it's not. I couldn't tell you it's a great movie. It's on Tubi if people are interested, which is free with limited ads. Peter Cushing. Oh my God, I didn't mean to click on that. There we go. Oh, sorry. I need to find my Wacom pen so I avoid this. Michael Gavin. There we go. I could tell you which one's the werewolf, but I won't. That just kind of ruins it, doesn't it? But it's enjoyable for a film of the time, that's for sure. Fist bumps, Missy Duna. You is a werewolf. Yeah, that was the first Mystery Science Theater night that we hosted. We had a Mike episode, and it was the film Werewolf. Werewolf, which has oh my god, the weirdest. It has a sex scene. It's just like stop, make it less. Oh my god. I like
Make
sex
it
scenes, but
last.
that one in particular, like he's just
She said,
in this
"Make it
particular
last."
movie, it's not enjoyable. It's awkward. So,
It's not
were
like
there any
Wolf
films
Cop.
on that list that anybody wanted me to go through that they saw?
Go back. Let's
Oh, that's
see.
Ted Raimi. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one.
Like, that looks kinda
Well,
like
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage. It's
Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
I
Oh
think
my
this
god.
one's
It's still
already on VOD, actually.
clicking on
Sympathy for the
everything
Devil.
without my consent. There we go. There we go. That's Ted Raimi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Failure. One take, no mistake, for God's sakes. Shot a single
It rhymes. Thank you.
87-minute take. James has just 1 hour to choose between financial ruin or murder to protect his family.
What
I
is that
like
in his
that.
hand? Is it? Oh, it's a chess piece. Oh, wow.
Oh, I
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was
a
something. I
syringe.
thought it was something. I thought it was like a what do they call
Syringe?
it? A pacifier or something?
Oh, how
Pound
are you
cake?
a little baby?
What?
Ew.
So I was at the Demolition Derby this weekend, and um, there was a guy in the crowd. I don't know him. I don't know anything about him, but he had a T-shirt in big letters. It said um, "male, straight." No, it started with white, which was painfully obvious, but white, straight, straight Republican, male, all those things. Is there any way else I can piss you off today? And it's like, man, it's like standing in a room full of people and someone's like, "I'm not gay." No one cares. No one's worried about being gay is not a bad thing. And nobody you're the only one who seems really concerned about it. It's aggressive. It didn't piss me off. It just like
You didn't need a shirt for us to know
I think that
anyways.
guy's gay and like self-deprecating. And I don't mean that as an insult. I don't.
All right, let's look
Um,
at TIFF. TIFF, TIFF, TIFF,
TIFF.
TIFF.
Okay, so TIFF hasn't happened yet. I think it starts on the 7th, so soon. All right. So this is a good start. So that was originally going to headline with a different film and then changed. Well, the one with Zendaya, but it's presumably Miyazaki's last film. Folks might know him from Spirit Away, Howl's Moving Castle. Well, let me that won't kick
Ponyo,
out. Okay.
right? Yeah, Ponyo.
He's
Princess
a brilliant
Mononoke.
storyteller, filmmaker. So that's exciting. And
Yeah,
that
my
is
name is
opening the
Dora.
TIFF Film Festival.
Totoro. How is
Bo discovers
187
an
minutes
abandoned
into an
tower in his new
hour?
town and enters a fantastical world with a talking gray heron.
Well, I'm gonna guess if it's only an hour and it's 187-minute take, that he chose murder. And that's the end of that. With,
So I don't know. I
kind of
know that
fair.
there's a big twist in this film, which might be a bit of a spoil. I haven't seen it. This did, I believe, win a prominent award at Cannes, Anatomy of a Fall. So there's that's gonna also be at TIFF. I think it was also in Venice, but I do. So oof, I gotta find my Wacom pen. Let me just check the details of this movie before I talk about it. Don't look at it. No one process it before I. I'm not sure,
We
but
don't have to
I
talk about it.
it does look interesting to me. I don't
I
know.
like Chris Pine. I
I do
wouldn't guess
too.
that he's part of anything that's been The Rock.
Let's see. So, oh, this is also
Vampire!
yeah, this was also at Venice, and this looks extremely interesting to me. I'm
Humanist
excited.
vampire seeking. Can you go up a little bit? Seeking consenting suicidal person.
So this reminds me of a real case that happened. I don't know in Germany. I can't remember who actually put out the personal ad, if it was the cannibal or the guy that wanted to be eaten, but it was both very sexual for both of them. And in Germany, the Germans, they're kooky. Like, hey, I really want to be eaten. That's my thing. It's my ultimate. And the guy's like, hey, I really want to eat somebody. That's my thing. That's my ultimate. And there was a
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
big trial on it because the guy was consensual about everything, but it's not appropriate to kill or eat somebody. So that was I can't remember how that ended up, but, there's that.
And there's the guy who ate himself.
Ooh, who was he German?
I don't know. I think it happened in New York, didn't it?
I don't know.
She's too sensitive to kill. Luckily, she meets Paul, a lonely teenager with suicidal tendencies who's willing to give his life to save hers. But her friendly agreement soon becomes a nocturnal quest to fulfill Paul's last wishes before day breaks. Oh, I'm gonna love this.
It looks really good.
I'm gonna love it.
It has 1 fan.
Yeah.
What does it mean by fan? Somebody who rated it? I don't know. Well, Horror Quebec loves it, so or is what so yeah, so there's some reviews, and they're good reviews, and I don't wanna read too
Yeah.
much about it. So, a lot of these films, who knows when we're gonna be able to see them? Because if they don't already have distribution, I don't think anybody really wants to make deals with struck companies for distribution. So, I don't know.
Can you scroll down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one I
The
really wanted to talk
Beast.
about. I'm really excited about this. Harmony Korine, baby. Okay. So I've been reading a lot about this one. I'm a huge Harmony Korine fan, and Justine and I bond over our mutual love of Spring Breakers. So there were a lot of walkouts on this film, and
Watching it. Sold.
well, wait, hold up.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see it. And a lot of the reviews, if you look here, it's like either like 5 stars or really low. It's a divisive film. And the reason people are walking out, it's not because they're disturbed, it's because they're bored. Um, so Harmony Korine's have gone further and further away from traditional filmmaking and narrative storytelling. It is a bit controversial that Travis Scott is in it. From the whole, what was that called? Astro World?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but this seems to be a theme with Harmony because he does not the Travis Scott part, but I really loved Beach Bum starring Matthew McConaughey, and he's a reluctant poet, and this guy's a reluctant hitman, and Harmony Korine himself is a very reluctant filmmaker. He's very good at it. Trash Humpers, Gummo, he wrote Kids, Spring Breakers. I'm a big Harmony Korine fan.
I think
So
I
I'm
am
excited.
too after that list.
Yeah, Yeah, I know,
God,
right?
I didn't even know it.
And so he started a new production company, and so they want to do instead of making like, and they want to remix movies. They're trying to incorporate gameplay in with movies, and they've got like this home invasion movie they're working on where it's also like cutaway scenes and gameplay. That's not this film. This film was like a precursor to it from how people have described it. And then they have a version of that film that's called Baby Invasion, where the invaders have baby faces. But he has a lot of like designers and like, a lot of
That
different
sounds
artists.
really cool.
Oh, do you wanna know the name of the production company?
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
No. Yes.
I love it. It's Edgelord.
Yes.
And,
I wasn't ready
I
for
like to
that.
think of
No.
myself, sometimes as, like, an edgelord who's an edgelord about edgelords, but the truth is I'm really just a
Oh,
sub edgelord
maybe
myself.
Harmony Korine is the real edgelord of edgelords who of
He
edgelording.
is, though. I mean, one of his recent comments that folks were not happy about, was he said that the Call of Duty cutaway scenes are better than anything Steven Spielberg ever made. Um I don't agree with
I
that.
think he's just a troll.
He is. Well,
I
the thing
think
is, a
that's
lot of the
just
comments. So
trolling.
it's interesting to me. So this movie apparently is, how what they always say. It's not a film experience. Um, it doesn't seem like like it's just very kind of like a sensory thing. It's all shot in infrared. So that's a which some people feel is just gimmicky. Fair enough. I can't say I haven't seen the film, so I really. But I whether so this might not be, I don't know, my favorite Harmony Korine project, but I think I'm definitely gonna like it. But the a lot I read a lot of the reviews on this one actually, and some people were like, people just don't get that Harmony Korine's a genius and he's a troll, and so many of them said that thing that a lot of people say with very different films is like, this is gonna go down in film history. There was the time before Aggro Drift and the time after. And then people are like, I haven't seen so many people fall asleep and
I
showing
hope the
up
whole
that.
movie is a troll on edgelords to see
I
how
think
many
it
people he
probably
could, like,
is.
get to back up the shittiest film he's ever made. Like
I
like,
love it. He doesn't.
he's like, "I'm gonna check all of the ridiculous boxes, like, why film a film regular style when we can film it infrared? That's, like, the most ridiculous thing we could do, right? Let's do it. Okay, what else can we do? Well, we could make it about a reluctant hitman who just obviously can just not decide to get another job since he's good at changing his identity, but let's make him a reluctant hitman because nobody likes a reluctant hitman, but we're going to make him a reluctant hitman. It's like he's checking all of the boxes of things that would probably annoy people and
There's
then
a lot
make
of
it
twerking in it.
real
And apparently during the
slow.
opening at Venice, Anthony Corinne did some twerking on stage. Um, Fun. During I read an interview with him in GQ, and he's talking on the beach because he's a Florida guy. He's talking on the beach with the interviewer, and they see a guy that kind of has kind of like the beer gut, and Anthony Corinne's like, if I ever had a beer gut, like, wouldn't it be cool if you just could put a tap in it and the beer would flow? And I'm like,
Wait, he has an orphan girl he has to look after? Stop. This is his first remix film then. This is The Professional. This is Leon remixed.
it is.
Like, stop.
I'm
That's
excited
great.
for it. I mean, I really so this was so it showed at Venice and it's going to be shown at TIFF. I don't know if Harmony Korine's going to be at TIFF. But he's definitely starting a new phase in art and he does, he is like if ADHD was a person, and I don't mean that's a bad thing. I have ADHD, you have ADHD. So um he says, well, I want to get like past like all the stuff no one wants to watch, like a lot of people sitting at a table and talking, and I'm not with him on that. I'm a big fan, but I love watching people talk endlessly. Like,
Mhm.
let me make a movie where it's not only set in one room with just talking, it's in one corner and nobody can breathe.
Did you like that movie? What was that movie that was literally that? Oh my god, and I hated it. I thought it was so boring, and people were just
People talking
gushing.
in a corner.
No, the people talking at, like, a dinner, it had, like, Steven Yeun in it, and oh my god, what was that movie called?
Was it a horror film or?
It was one of those movies that people said was horror, but it really mm, it was a thriller, I guess. It could be horror to some people, sure. I didn't think it was scary. I thought it was boring as F. But oh my god, you guys in the comments, help me out. What is that movie? It literally was a dinner. Maybe it was called The Dinner. I don't know. Supper? Supper? Was it called Supper?
It wasn't The Feast, 'cause that had a really cool
No,
ending. The
was it The
Was it
Feast?
Belgian or Flemish? The Feast. It was
No.
I think it was Belgian or Flemish.
No, I like
We
The
talked about it for
Feast.
our food
That's the
horror.
one we talked yeah, I recommended that was my pick. I like that movie.
It's a good
It might be
movie.
called Feast, though. It might be called something like that, and I hated it. And it had Stephen Yeun in it. It's American. Look up Stephen Yeun Yoon Yoon Yen?
Well, a lot of people did not care for it. Interesting. I like when a movie's divisive. They make these masks. I want one. He also
Hold
does
on.
large oil mural paintings. He's doing a show of oil paintings done from Agrodrift, and I'm like, I wish I could afford that, but there's no way I could afford buying one of his paintings. I can imagine. Stephen Young. Am I
Mhm.
looking up? Okay, is that correct, or is it the other Stephen? Is it this
No,
one?
not Young. It's Yoon. I think it's
Like
Y-E.
like Carl
I
Jung?
got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Hmm.
It was the movie The Humans.
I
The
don't think I've seen
Humans.
that one.
It sounds like a movie that's right up your alley based off of what you just said.
A lot of people talking.
Look up The
Probably.
Humans. I think it's an A24 film, so you can talk about it. Literally, all around the table the entire time.
I'm already putting on my watch list. I want to
Yeah,
see them talk. A24, we
yeah,
can talk about it.
yeah. I thought it was A24.
Generations
I
of
was
Pennsylvania
so
family already
bored.
in. I love them in their Velcro socks, Velcro shoes. I'm in. Like the Paloma brothers. Those are two filmmakers I enjoy as well. To
Yeah, no,
celebrate
this is a
Thanksgiving with
movie I
daughters
think
and
you would
sons.
actually really like. When it had moments that I really liked, and then it was just really boring. I mean, a lot of people really like I don't know, there's a lot of movies that a lot of people really like where I'm like, "Yeah,
Oh,
there's some
that's
really
the.
good
Oh my god, I'm
moments."
such an idiot that I didn't remember it from Nope. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, from Nope.
Amy
I forgot
Schumer.
Amy
Really?
Schumer was in it.
This looks awesome. I think I'm gonna like this a lot. Who's the direct? What has he done? Just this. Okay, first film.
Yeah, you'll
I
have to
have
tell
it on
me
my
if you
list.
like it.
Is it on
I
Tubi?
like
No.
what's her face. Is it
Jane.
June? No, Beanie Feldstein. Beanie
Ah,
Feldstein. I like her. That's her right there in the picture.
this one.
Oh, yeah, Beanie Feldstein. She was the one that was recently, on Broadway too.
Oh,
Do you remember
for
Sleevegate? We
what?
talked about it. Sleevegate?
Did we?
I think we talked about it during our musical episodes. They put sleeves on her dress, and
Yes, we did. We did talk
there
about
weren't
that.
supposed to be sleeves on that dress, and they put them on her dress, and they think it's because she's not, like, I don't know, Hollywood skinny, but she's not big either, like,
She's like a
she's
size 8 or something, which is like a
yeah.
terrible horse size, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
everyone
is
loves
yeah.
October. Mm,
Um,
I
sorry to
like. I mean, I
distract
haven't never
you, but
done it.
yeah, you would like that movie. Venice, let's go to Venice.
No, I just want to make sure.
Oh,
Okay, so I thought we went over Venice. Oh, I wanted to talk about Wildcat, but that's also in Telluride. Hitman, I think, is also in Venice, so we can just go over there. If anybody in the chat has anything they know that's showing or might be showing, you don't have to know. We can look it up easily.
oh, Anthony Hopkins. I love him. Oh, Mads Mikkelsen too. I
And well,
forgot about him.
also we can. It's not. It doesn't have an interim agreement, but I love Paul Giamatti. He's
Can you
funny.
go
He's a
back down a
comedian
little
too.
bit? Was that, Amanda Seyfried? Go down, 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 down. It was just her face, blonde girl, screaming looking.
This one.
Down, 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 down. Nope, she's, like, screaming or
This
something.
one. It
That
looks
one,
like
that one.
her.
What is this?
It is her. She's so beautiful.
Seven Veils.
That's one of my
Ooh, interesting. I wanna see that.
I love her.
I just watched a really good short of hers on,
Did she direct it?
YouTube. I think it was on Alter. No, she didn't. Oh, did she direct that movie? Is that what you were asking?
No, the
Or
movie that
short?
the short you're talking about.
I don't think so, but she starred in it, and I shared it on our Discord, so if you guys wanna go
What?
find it, it was really cool. I really liked it. It was Caribe, a little folksy.
A24. Apparently, there's a movie, Dix the Musical. I don't know if they mean Private Detective. Maybe not. Fucking Identical Twins is an alternate title to it.
Oh, I
Never heard
liked
of
it.
it.
Please don't clip that out of context, you guys.
No, they only clip me out of context. It only happens to me because I'm the Mo Howard and I'm like the one to make fun of, and I get it. I get it. It's fine. I can handle it.
And
Maybe.
I like the name Dix better than fucking identical twins. Anyways.
That is a better title. All right, I think everything's kind of falls into it, and I'm
What's it
not
about a cult? What?
Dix the Musical.
Casey Carter? Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Venice. Okay, so Beast is another one we can talk about, and I'm not as prepared to talk about it, but it's there. So so Poor Things doesn't have an interim. Ugh, okay, stop clicking things.
It
Agreement to
doesn't? I thought that was
no,
is that not A24?
no. I'm pretty. It wasn't
Oh,
on the list. No, no.
oh. I
Searchlight.
heard good things about it too.
I did too. I heard, and I also heard some things that we both had concerns about it. I mean, it looks good, but anytime there's a which I don't know how they handle it in the film, I can't say, but anytime there's a
Yeah.
stereotype where one character is kind of reborn or doesn't have memory or is an android or an alien, whatever it is, for some
The
reason they
whole
don't know how the
innocence,
world
like,
works.
yeah.
So the other character teaches them how to feed themselves, wash themselves, interact with the world, and then it becomes a
And then
romantic
becomes a
thing.
love
And
interest. Yeah,
that's one of
it's
my ickies.
gross. Yeah, I
So
agree.
the beast.
Unless
Oh,
it's
and I also thought
unless
Charlie was in it, and he's
unless
not.
it's Blast
So now
from the
I'm like,
Past, that's okay.
what? Blast from the
That one's
Past? Is this about
okay.
dicks again? Oh
No.
no, my stamp thing opened. Oh my god, embarrassing.
What was that?
Pile stamps.
Uh,
Don't
it
ask
wasn't
me about
even
stamps.
that bad. It could have been porn, but it wasn't. It was stamps. Like
So much of
oh,
my
wow.
life is collectible postage stamps. Anyway,
Met
I'm
her
not
in
a
a past
collector,
life
but
and rid her of any strong feelings, but then she meets Louis, and although he seems dangerous, she feels a powerful connection to him as if she's known him forever.
sounds like a good AO3 fan fiction. Like, ooh,
It
sex, romance, drama, science fiction.
sold. It's giving
Sold.
me like
Sign it.
Dracula vibes, to be honest.
Maybe he's a werewolf. All right,
'Cause I'm hearing
so
past lives, I'm hearing she's attracted to him, like she's
and
known
he's powerful.
him,
He's
and he's
powerful.
dangerous.
Dangerous. Here's another
Yeah.
vampire. I'm a vampire
El
movie.
Conde.
So this also I think was
Augusto
in
Pinochet
Telluride.
is the vampire.
What?
Augusto Pinochet is the vampire.
Ready
So
to die.
wait, like the Pinochet is a vampire in this movie.
I think so.
Sold.
Things are about to get bloody. So it seems like it's
Uh,
mostly a
it's
comedy.
comedy. Great. I want it. That's all it took was for me to read even just part of the first sentence. Augusto Pinochet is a vampire.
Well,
Sold.
vampires, dictators, I think not far off.
Oh,
Although I like
uh,
vampires much more. Not that
I
they're
love
real.
the poster. The poster's great.
It is
It
great.
reminds me of those really cool like art pictures you can get where it's like old Victorian women with like a beheaded man, like breakfast.
He
And
also
they're
did,
like,
he also did Spencer, which is an A24 film.
oh.
And did a film called No Rainbow.
He seems to do a lot of biopics that he, like,
Ugh,
turns on their heads, actually, because Jackie and Spencer were very horror-like versions of a
I've heard that
biopic,
Spencer's very good. I haven't seen either, so I can't say anything about them.
and this looks to be like he's doing a biopic on a bad person, and he's turning it into a comedy where he was doing biopics on really good people and kind of making what they went through horrific. So, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. He likes his
Interesting.
genre mashing biopics and whatever is the ridiculous opposite.
This is a I think it's a documentary, but I'm a big Michel Gondry fan. Um, Folks might mostly know him from Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. He's worked with Charlie Kaufman, who I'm also a big fan of as a writer. He did the film, he directed and wrote the film adaptation for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is in our pick three thing, which I haven't edited yet. Was it in pick three? No. No, it's out actually. It's in our with books in the freezer novel to film adaptations
Yeah,
episode
yeah.
where I'm like, I am that old man. So I am.
That's another
Anyway,
movie I just did not I don't know, it's okay.
I loved it so much. I went into this whole rabbit hole about Oklahoma. I was in for all of that, all of
What
it.
are what are a couple of things that you really wanted to talk about tonight because we gotta wrap up
Okay,
soon.
I think we talked about most of them. I did want to touch upon. Is it? Oh, this is Venice. I don't think so. There's some override here. Well, I did want to. I'll mention briefly. Richard Linklater did what looks like it's
Ooh,
a
Glenn
thriller
Powell.
comedy, and Glenn
Is he a
Powell.
bad guy?
I don't know. I don't know much about the
He's
film,
so handsome.
but I am a big Richard Linklater fan, and he was surprisingly in a documentary I was watching. I didn't expect him to be in it, which was about the Church of the Subgenus, Arise, that whole thing. Which I found out about from following Joel Hodgson, one of the main creators of Mystery Science Theater 3000, on what was formerly Twitter years ago.
Well, Glenn Powell, that actor, is one of those actors that I think could have gone down a path of just the good-looking, like, romantic interest and everything, or the mean guy, because that's who he was in Maverick. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
I
guys
haven't seen
seen
that.
that one
Who was
yet.
he in The Dark Knight Rises?
I don't remember, maybe just a cop. I don't
Just like
remember. But he tends to not be, like, in the forefront or, like, unless he is the good-looking love interest, and he's a really good actor, though, like, he's really good, and I'm
who is
really
he in
glad to
Hottest
see
State?
him. I don't know, he was so forgettable in most movies up
Well, maybe
until
it's not that he's forgettable. His
recently.
performance is so good that he blends
Oh, well, he
into the
tends to
scene.
get roles, like I said, that are, like, secondary roles. They're not, like,
He's
necessarily
like
the main
Like a Sam
character.
Rockwell kind of thing.
He's the good-looking guy. That's I don't know. He could have easily gone down the same path as, the guy from Sweet Home Alabama, or he could
Who's
end up
that?
going down the road of Matthew McConaughey, where he ends up getting out of this, like, good-looking man rut and ends up in some roles that are really testing of his
I
abilities,
hope so.
and
I
I
like the
hope
route
so
that
because
he
he's
went with his career.
so good looking and charismatic, and I just wanna see him but he's got a romantic comedy coming out too that's, like, based off of a very popular young adult novel, I think. Um,
Um,
and
these all seem to be older. It might
Stuck
not be
in
on my
Love.
list.
I think it's Stuck in
That's
no, it's not that.
2012.
It's coming up. You can order it by, release. Yeah.
Twisters. He's going to be in
No,
that.
Anyone But You, it's that one. Anyone
Mm.
But You is based off of a book that's really popular, and, everybody's very excited for this movie. So he's gotten a ton of media attention lately, and I think it's getting him a lot of roles suddenly. But he's gonna be in Twisters, which shut up, I'm excited for. I love tornadoes. I have a tornado tattooed on my ribs because I have a reoccurring
Show
tornado
us.
dream.
What's your
No.
dream? Tell me your dream.
It's a constant just tornadoes generally are like I'll have a dream where I'm, like, driving down a hill and the whole valley is just filled with tornadoes, and I have to, like, get to the other side. So, like, I'm driving through and there's, like, tornado coming, and I have to, like, turn and I have to like go get my family and like it's just an insane tornado tree.
Sounds
and,
cool.
and it's recurring and it's always different. Do you get a house dropped on you? No, but stuff flies around and like I usually end up like in a house with people who end up like making dumb decisions and like running out and getting killed or like we have to get away from people because they turn bad. Like it's they're wild. I have very
You should
vivid
make a movie
dreams.
about it.
but
Do you have any real life tornado experiences?
none. Like
I mean, neither.
none. I lived in Georgia and we had tornado warnings all the time and there would be tornadoes where they're like, "Oh, there's a tornado going down Abercorn right now." And I would see nothing and I would be on Abercorn and be so disappointed and I'd be like, "It's just kind of windy, guys, and wet." Like I don't
Bill Paxton will
know.
be deeply missed.
I think like tornadoes might actually be really disappointing for me if I'm near them in places like Georgia because here in Washington we get like major windstorms that are nuts, like like massive 3-story freaking trees fall down because of the windstorms we get. And they're not tornadoes, but I feel like that's what the tornadoes in Georgia look like. It's just really bad windstorms. Like, and they're calling them tornadoes because somewhere in there might be a little bit of a cyclone. Like, I don't know. But I could be wrong. I never saw one. I just heard that they were there. Never saw them.
I mean, in
I
a
would
very
love to see a tornado.
sure from a
It's like
safe,
Twister meets the Mister.
probably a house would probably fall
Yeah,
on me.
it is like that though.
Um, so Richard Linklater also, in a very different way than Harmony Korine, but he also did Scanner Darkly, so he's really experimented with different films and how to present them and technologies as well. Oh my god.
How many
Thank God I
Hitman
don't have
movies
anything
was that
embarrassing on my
now?
bookmarks. Holy shit. What?
How many Hitman's movies was that now that we've brought up?
Oh, I think at least 3. There's
Yeah,
Aggro Drift,
what?
there was another one I can't remember, and this one.
Yeah. Well, you
No, I'm not
guys.
done yet. Give me a second. Let me
Oh,
just check Telluride. The
well, while you're looking, I'm gonna promo stuff for
Do
for
it.
her closing. Okay, so we have a Discord, we have a Patreon, we have a YouTube, we have Twitch. We tend to do a lot of our back where was I going with the word back? Behind the scenes
Behind the scenes, in the back of
filming
the
of our
scene.
episodes, backdoor filming. Anyways, behind the scenes filming of our episodes happens on Twitch only. However, these fun little relaxed fit lives and our gameplays we'll do on both Twitch and YouTube. We'll post our episodes after they've been edited on YouTube, and then you guys can always go back and watch any of those episodes that are already posted. You'll see we have a lot of guests, we have a lot of multi-part series. We've changed our setup quite a bit over the year that we've been kind of growing, and I think we'll probably change it again this year a little bit. We'll talk about that more in our slasher chat. So if you're a patron, you'll get the inside scoop on some changes we might be seeing next year when Crystal gets back to us. And I'm excited for the new spooky season. So I'll be chatting a lot more in Discord about movies we're watching. I'm not going to go too in depth on the movies that are struck. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm watching this on my 100 days of horror just because that's on the poster. So, but I'm not going to go on and be like, you should watch it or anything if it's a struck work. I do want to support the writers and actors to get fair pay. Go
And it also
ahead.
it sets a precedent. I mean, a lot of these companies don't wanna cave in, especially
And they don't
companies
care
like
about me.
Disney, Comcast, Amazon. Because like, if we pay them what they're worth or, like, even close to what they're asking, then we might have to let our warehouse workers go to the bathroom. Like,
Ugh.
ugh, humans,
What do we give them water bottles for?
Ugh, gross. So there's a few I want to touch upon, but I'll shorten it a little. There's
Very well.
Wildcat. Oh my God, I wanted to go the other one. Okay, I'll talk about Wildcat first, and then the other one was the Pigeon Tunnel. So,
Pigeon
Wildcat
title?
is a Ethan Hawke and Maya Hawke film, and it is a biopic.
Oh, him and his daughter?
Yeah,
That's
so
so
they
cute.
both
Ooh,
heavily
Laura
involved in the
Linney.
production. I love Laura Linney. She's and when
I'm
once
rewatching
we
Ozark right now, so
I haven't seen Ozark. I
Ooh.
when we eventually when the strike is over and we do our demonic possession episode, or at least from the ones we're gonna do, there's a film in there starring Laura Linney. Oh my god, I'm starting. My brain's starting to fall apart, and there wasn't much there to start with. So anyway, so this is a biopic on Flannery O'Connor, who I haven't read in a very long time, but she's not a horror writer, but she does touch upon a lot of dark themes in The Outsider. It's Southern Gothic, and she points a
Ooh.
mirror. There's some controversial things about her, and but it's weird. She said some racist things, but she also she did this like she wrote this short story specifically about how she was not happy with the whole Gone with the Wind thing, bringing 4 Confederate soldiers to I think it was a showing of the film in Alabama. It might have been the Academy Awards, but I'm not sure on that. I'm not prepared as I'd like to be, and the hypocrisy of it. You know, she's not the one that's going to show a mirror up to, ego and society that has soft natural lighting or a strobe light with a beauty dish with diffusion. It's going to be, she's taking you to Sears. She's taking you to the Salvation Army with that over harsh lighting, and she's making you look in the mirror. Um, that's fun. And she's I a Wildcat I remember I read in high school. It's a short film. It's a short story about a black man, presumptuous of her. But he's sick and dying, and it's kind of there's this metaphor of this wildcat he's afraid of that's coming after him. And she died of lupus in in her late 30s, mid late 30s.
Hmm.
So it kind of mirrors that, but also it might have a double meaning because she was a feisty gal, so it's like she's a Southern wildcat, you know. Why the men bring on
So,
that
this
big
also has
car around?
Steve
Because this
Zahn.
flower is wilting. What?
It has Steve Zahn too, and I haven't seen him in a while. And he's gotten into a lot more serious, roles and whatnot. Um,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him in a while either. I think he's been in Vincent D'Onofrio. So it has a great
ooh,
cast. I mean, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't
Liam
think
Neeson?
Liam Neeson.
Is he
I
gonna
think he plays a
shoot somebody?
priest.
Oh, that's perfect.
So we don't have yeah, I know, right? So we don't have so I don't care for biopics, but Ethan Hawke also doesn't like biopics apparently. And I watched his biopic on Blaze for and I really liked it.
Didn't
It
he
kind of
also do an entire show biography
well, that's a
series?
documentary. That's not a narrative storytelling trying to compress a person's life, which is and try to
Well, a
roast
documentary biography, a biographical documentary, right?
about Paul Newman and Joanna.
Yeah, I think it's kinda silly for him to say that he doesn't like them when his
Well,
record
excuse
shows
me. Let me get to
otherwise.
but like like you were saying about who else that they kind of change biopics and make them different. Oh, like I was doing it.
Biography.
Yeah,
Peter
yeah.
Graves' voice.
So I have heard that it's not like a
Like my Moira.
straightforward biopic, and that Flannery O'Connor is going to kind of go in and out being
Yeah.
characters from her short stories. I don't know which ones, but that sounds amazing. So I'm
No, I'm
excited to
excited
see.
about this. I love
Yeah,
Laura Linney. Double Feature Podcast said Laura Linney is one of his favorite actresses as well. Yeah, she is amazing.
and she's an
So
Aquarius just like me.
underrated.
So
Like, I feel
any
like in Ozark, she steals every episode she's in. Not maybe in the first season, but towards the middle of the first season, she really comes into that her character. And I think in the later seasons or in the following seasons of Ozark, she's like the leader. She's the lead character. Like she kills it.
and
Yeah.
have you read? I know Rose McGowan for the longest time was trying to make a film of one of her most popular short stories. Of a few was she's trying to make a film on A Good Man is Hard to Find, but unfortunately it didn't happen. That would have been really cool.
Mm.
So, Errol, this is just real quick. The subject matter doesn't interest me as much as Errol Morris himself. He did The Thin Blue Line, which set the precedent, not president. I'm falling apart.
Precedent.
For true crime documentaries, and he also did one of my favorite documentaries of all time, which is The Gates of Heaven. I highly recommend Gates of Heaven. It's technically about people that own a pet cemetery in a way, but it really kind of like one of Roger Ebert's reviews on Gates of Heaven is that there's a woman that's interviewed about her pet being moved from one pet cemetery to another, and her general honest just dialogue is something that Faulkner wish he could have written. We wished. It's one of Roger Ebert's favorite films, and I love it too. It's not one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite documentaries for sure. So I'm always in for an Errol Morris thing, and also some might remember Errol Morris from The Gates of Heaven. Werner Herzog is like, excuse me, you're never gonna get that movie finished. He's like, I bet you have to eat your shoe on camera if I get this movie made, and he did. And Werner Herzog, you can watch Werner Herzog eats a shoe, and it's on YouTube. And watch Werner Herzog talk about the importance of film and getting in small independent films made and all that, and eat a shoe.
Nice.
There you
Good
go.
man.
So I'm sorry I wasn't as organized.
Hey, no, it's a relaxed fit. It doesn't have to be organized.
Relaxed fit.
We
Yeah,
honestly, I just wanted to get on here and say hi to everybody again and talk with you about movies and film because I have been missing it. I don't really have a lot of top people to talk about this stuff with. Look, I love my man, but he is not a big film buff like I am, and not around horror like as much as I am. He's not really into it. So I'm getting him into stuff, hopefully, but he's just not as into it as I am. He's totally supportive though. So
No, I miss talking to you guys. I had to turn something down recently. I was invited to do on Rainbow Fright podcast. They're doing a whole thing on the Saw franchise. You know how hard that is for me to say no to.
Well, that should be our first comeback episode.
Depending on the strike. Well, I told them it depends on the strike. Especially with a new one coming out. But I'm ready to go into the mirroring of how 9/11 changed cinema. I'm not kidding. And I'm so ready for you know, some people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you.
I can't wait to rewatch the franchise because actually I don't think I've finished it. I think I've only seen 4.
I think you'd be a big fan of the later ones.
Well,
I think
it's funny because I just recently rewatched all of the Fast and the Furious franchise because Fast X came out, and I'd only seen 5. I was like, I've only seen half of these.
I haven't seen any of them.
I rewatched all of them, and I will admit the only one that I thought was crap was 9. I enjoyed the shit out of all of them.
Wasn't the original Fast and the Furious a Roger Corman production? I think it was. The original,
They're all
original
so fun, and they get so ridiculous, but in such a fun way. Like, you love the characters. The way that they just keep bringing them back, like, it works. Anywho, I cried again because, like, I remember crying when around the time Paul Walker passed, and that movie came out, and they didn't get to finish it with him, right? So they ended the film with a bit of a what do you call that? What did you call it earlier?
Bio?
When you got a double? A shemp? So she said.
Oh, a fake shemp.
Yeah, they did that at the end of the film with Paul Walker to like say goodbye to the character. And it's just so sad. Like,
my friend Cheyenne was in tears, and you know me, I'm the worst.
I was in tears too. I saw it in theater. I saw that one in theater. I think that was the last one I saw, actually.
Like, he's not in films that I don't think I've seen any of his films. I'm not sure on that. But when she was crying and she's like, Paul Walker died, and I'm like, who? I was there for her though. I was there for her. I just didn't know who I thought.
Fast and the Furious was a big deal when I was in high school. Like, I remember wanting an Eclipse so bad. A 99 Eclipse. That was the only car I ever wanted besides a Jetta. And I was, yeah. And then I was obsessed with the S2000 and Too Fast, Too Furious. And like, I was into cars.
Angelina Jolie in one of them?
No, but Charlize Theron is. She's in a couple of them.
I'm a fan of both of them.
The later ones.
Which one? Wait, isn't Angelina Jolie in some car chase movie?
Oh, Wanted, maybe? Or Gone in 60 Seconds. That's what
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Always down for some Angelina Jolie and Charlize Theron. So
yeah. Anywho,
I appreciate
I
the Peter Graves reference, Call Me Geek Roy. You're with good company, I will tell you that.
um
Hey, well, I don't know
thank you
what the
guys
paywall
for
was for.
joining us. I think I was talking about backdoor filming. I
Um,
got the paywall, the paywall call. Um, Anywho, uh, excited for Maxine still, just
Kevin
waiting
Bacon
on
better
him to
have
move
like
on.
that. We know when he grows a mustache, it's like a really thick, big mustache.
Yeah.
I hope that he's got to have that. He's got to have the porn
Thank you,
stash. I
Double
mean, it's
Feature
the
Podcast.
80s. It's about the porn industry, kind of. So I'm like, I'll
I
be
hope so.
disappointed if it's not there, Kevin.
Kevin.
There was another thing that reminds me.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Okay, so this was also Pedro Almodovar with Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal. That is I think it was at Venice and it's gonna be also at Toronto, I believe. And
Ooh.
I've seen it.
Was it good?
Um yes. But I saw it from, what do they call it when I saw it? I'm a bad person. I'm not a bad person, but I don't do good things all the time. It's one of those things where somebody video cameras it in the theater and then puts it online. So
Uh-huh.
I didn't have a good
Naughty,
look at it.
naughty.
Will I do bad things again in the future? Yeah. I'm a
Probably.
human being. I do good things most of the time.
Bootleg. We don't talk about bootleg. Anywho, so I'm excited for that because I also just watched The Last of Us finally. I just binge watched
I
it
haven't
in a
seen it.
couple
I saw the
days.
first episode.
It's really good. I was
It looks
not
good. I just
expecting.
haven't.
I mean, I knew it was going to be good. Everybody talked about it. I knew it was going to be good. I think that there was so much hype around it that I didn't want to watch it, so I didn't. But I also wasn't in the right frame of mind for something that it was expecting to be really dark. It wasn't as dark as I thought it was going to be. It had dark moments. There were a lot of sad moments,
Have you
like
played the game?
no. And that's the other thing. I don't have a tie to it like that. But I've heard and I've watched so much about it that I know like some of the little Easter eggs to the game, like Ellie, who does the voice of Ellie, is her mother in the show. I knew that. And I knew like there's like a funny point where they're in this like safe city or whatever at the very beginning. I forget what they call them. But there's this constant like voiceover going on in the background where it's like follow like I don't know. It's basically telling you to follow the rules or die or something. But it like rhymes and I laughed so hard the first time I caught what they were saying. But it's like infection and insurrection or something like that. It rhymed and I was like, that has to be from the game. Like that has to be from the video game. They had to pull that specific sound clip from the video game and put it in the show for the fans because that sounds ridiculous. It sounds like
Penny
something you would hear
Prescott
in
is
a
saying
video
the
game.
voice of Joel is also, I think, is also the second to last episode too.
Oh, so I heard the voice of Joel was actually the creepo guy in the show, right? Anyhow, anywho,
Any Heiny Ho?
that I was
Oh, Paul
expecting to be
Rubens just died. I was bummed.
yeah, I was bummed about that too.
We lost Gilbert
I
Godfrey a while
freaking
ago.
love Buffy so much because of Paul Rubens.
Uh, ah! Uh,
Uh,
uh.
uh, uh, uh,
He is the comedian's comedian, just like Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah, his death was so good. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna hop off though because I am spent. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you, as always. Our heads up lettuce. Again, don't forget to join our Discord. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Lettuce and podcast. Linktree is in our everything. It's everywhere. So if you go to one of those, you'll find a Linktree, and you can find all of those. Ooh. Join our Patreon if you guys want to support this podcast. It really does help keep us going. Even when we take a break, it kept us going. It kept our subscriptions going, except for when I put the wrong card on one of them and it expired. Whoops.
Some
We'll fix it.
episodes might be gone, but we don't know yet.
We don't know
It's
yet.
fine. What are we gonna do?
We're fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We do have some episodes that we're working on that we did go live with that we just have to put together. So we do still
Yeah.
have some
And now that we're back from break, I will get to work on those. Thank you guys.
whenever you can. Thank you, everybody. Always a good time. You
Till
can't
next
get
time.
rid of us.
Never. We're out of hibernation.
I'm a bad luck penny, baby.
Bye.
I'm corny. I'm sorry.
I love it.